We are 1 hour from the deadline for Dez Bryant.
We're waiting for Florida.
and Demaryius Thomas. But before we get there, you want to talk baseball first?
Thank you.
You want to talk baseball first, or you want to talk football first?
Sorry.
You want to talk football first?
Whatever you'd like to do. I would like to ask you before this is the part of the show where we have kind of just talk around for a second.
Sure.
Who else has been franchised that we're waiting on? You said that.
Well, Justin Houston signed with Kansas City and got an enormous deal. $101 million, but $52.5 million
what
guaranteed.
About Pierre-Paul? What do you think's going to happen there today?
That's a good question. Stephen Gostkowski, the New England kicker, signed a long-term deal. He was franchised. Yeah.
Well, that's not the first time I've heard that. The Broncos years ago franchised Jason Elam or somebody.
Yeah.
That wasn't Jason Elam, was it?
I think
Maybe it was the other guy that's in Detroit.
Prater. Oh,
yeah.
that's right, Prater.
Matt Prater.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely
How
right.
quickly I forget his name. Yeah. Okay.
Who? Is it
Ian
done?
Rappaport, who we've had on the show before.
Is it done? All right, so let's start with the Dez Bryant situation then.
Let's do that.
All right, so according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network,
who we
Dez Bryant
spent some time with at the Super Bowl this year in Arizona.
Dez Bryant signed a $70 million deal. How much guaranteed?
I don't know.
How much?
5 years, $70 million.
5 years, $70 million. The guarantee has got to be around 40, 42, something like that.
Half.
I'm guessing.
I would think half.
45 million guaranteed? Boy, that's a lot. All right, so you have said all along, a number of people have said all along, that Demaryius Thomas and his agent have been waiting to see what Dez Bryant gets. They've only got 50 minutes now to figure it out.
Well, that's a world of time unless you're Elvis Dumervil and his agent. I think they could get it done if the Broncos, according to Adam Schefter yesterday, the Broncos, Channel 9 had reported that the Broncos, I think Mike Kliss had done that. Mike Kliss had reported that they had made an offer in the $12 to $13 million range. Adam Schefter said that was not true, and I know how Adam Schefter gets all his information, so I tend to trust it. I think that they were seeing who was going to blink first, Les, whether it was Demaryius Thomas, whether it was Dez Bryant, whether it was Dez Bryant's agent, Demaryius Thomas' agent, John Elway, Jerry Jones. Well, I think I've been telling you that Jerry Jones was going to pick up the phone and say, let's get this done.
Oh, yeah, well, I agree with that. Absolutely. I think he more so than John Elway wanted his wide receiver in tow.
Wouldn't you think that the Broncos and Demaryius Thomas and his agent are going to at least have one conversation before 2 o'clock?
I would think so. Here's the situation. There's nobody at Dove Valley right now. They're all in their separate places. I know John Elway isn't at the office, but they've got phones and they've got, all kinds of ways to communicate.
I hope they've gotten rid of the fax machine, haven't you?
And according to Albert Breer, who reports on the NFL, the Broncos have adjusted their offer to Demaryius Thomas 4 times. The final offer is on the table. They might need to do a little tweaking now that Dez Bryant has his deal in place. But it shouldn't be, you're right, it shouldn't take very long for them to do that tweaking and to get something done.
If they agree, we don't know, and I keep making references to the Elvis Dumervil situation for those that may not remember it or were not involved, because when this program goes out all over the world, the Broncos and the agent for Elvis Dumervil had reached an agreement. But yet they couldn't get it done because they were sending faxes around to Elvis, who was in Florida. His agent was somewhere on Baltimore. The Broncos were here. But I would guess that the NFL, not guess, the NFL's kind of changed its procedure since then. So if they reached a verbal agreement via emails or tweets or something, I think they could get it done before 2 o'clock. I would ask you, based on what Dez Bryant reportedly is getting, and we'll believe the reports that it's in the $75 million range, 70 to 75, and 45 guaranteed. It's been my understanding that the Broncos have been around the $38 million mark. Do you think they can settle for about $40 million? I mean, what do you think it's going to take to get Demaryius Thomas?
I think it's going to take 42, 44, 45 now to get him in. All along, the Broncos have offered a pretty good guarantee. It's the per year salary that DT and his agent have not been happy with. That's the word I'm getting anyway. So if they can if they can up that ante.
Can somebody tell us?
Let me ask you something.
Divide 5 into 70 and see what that comes.
14.
Thank you. My daughter's the math major.
So 14, which is still less than Calvin Johnson, but still the second best wide receiver contract in the NFL.
Well, I've heard something interesting, and I would ask you, but if he signs for a little bit more than Dez Bryant, that he comes in at 75,
yeah,
and they give him a couple of million more guaranteed,
I think he's in.
Is this a deal like
Absolutely.
this?
Yeah.
And that they can get it done before 2?
Yeah.
2 things I would point out. Demaryius Thomas has never threatened to not be in training camp or to not playing games
True.
like Dez Bryant has. He took the stance a few months ago in one interview that he gave, and it was not with me, even though I've met with him a couple of times at a restaurant in Denver. But he said at the time, I plan to play because I'm going to play whatever's happening because we're close to being the Super Bowl champion team. I want to see if he does actually abide by that promise that he made. That was 2 or 3 months ago when I was seeing him.
Which is the opposite of what Dez Bryant was threatening. These are not the same guys. Dez Bryant has much more bravado than Demaryius Thomas, much more questionable character than Demaryius Thomas. Demaryius is a humble kid who wants to be in camp, wants to get paid, of course, but wants to be in camp, wants to continue playing with Peyton Manning, wants to continue extending this great legacy he is building on, and wants to win. Dez Bryant is more of a selfish kind of guy. I don't think DT has the intestinal fortitude to do what Dez Bryant was threatening to do. So if a deal doesn't get done, I can see him missing a few days of camp. I don't see him missing the whole preseason, and I certainly don't see him missing any regular season games.
You brought up yesterday that his mother's her
Right.
sentence has been commuted by the president.
She gets out in
getting
November.
November?
Yeah.
That was October. Do you think if she got out of prison and he hadn't signed this deal that she might be grabbing him by the ear and going, hello, let's...
What the hell's wrong with you, boy?
Yeah, man, I just got out of prison. I want a new house and a car.
Yeah.
And we're joking a little bit, but his mother probably wouldn't be very excited to get out of prison and find
Right.
out that her son's not playing football. I don't know how much of an effect that will have on it. You have maintained over and over again that his psyche would be affected this year if he was playing under
on a franchise tag and not a long-term deal.
Well, we hope it'll be done. As he used to say in television and in radio, do not touch that dial. I don't know that you have a dial. Do not hit the delete button. Do not do the reset. Stay with us because at 2 o'clock, we will know one way or other, and we will be able to talk about it. We'll discuss certain aspects of what happens either if he does indeed sign or if he doesn't sign.
And we'll have Troy Rank on with us, the Broncos beat writer for the Denver Post.
And he'll be on top of it. So.
Harmony Foundation, Colorado's premier treatment program for drug and alcohol addiction. It's located just outside of Estes Park. They've got a really nice 45-acre mountain campus. They are insurance friendly, which I know is important to a lot of people. So if you have a problem or you know somebody else who might have a problem, contact the Harmony Foundation at harmonyfoundationinc.com.